He started on the button. We've went live late. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Irn-Cru podcast. And this podcast tonight is the live Irn-Cru fantasy draft. You join us, pick one has already been, and I am on the clock, and I am running the risk of running out of time. But fear not, folks, because with 6 seconds to go, there's only one person in a PPR league we're taking. He is near, he is far, he is wherever Jamar is Jamar Chase. So, everybody watching us, guys, get in touch with us on the Twitter, get in touch with us on YouTube and all the socials. Let us know what you think of the choices that are coming out. We have got John coming in with CMC and joined live, as we can see, by Dan, Gav, and we've also got Studs with us as well. Gav is on the clock and he's running the risk of running that time, so I'm not going to talk to him now. Guys, what do we think so far? You know what, Gav? I'm going to come to you because you've just picked. You've got a wee while before you need to worry about the clock running back around to you. Everything seemed boring so far, mate? All of these picks seem on point?
Yep, pretty much going to form. I think it's been about 6 or 7 years since my fantasy comeback. The league's changed a lot, but I still think with RB is the way to go.
Yeah, we're good.
Eckler in a PPR draft is always a smart move, sir. Now, we do have, ladies and gentlemen, one or two of the chaps are going to do their best to be with us, but they are flirting with every fantasy football player's worst enemy, and that is the auto draft. As dear Sludger is now, and we'll see if he makes it in time. If not, to be fair, the old pick 6 of Tyreek Hill as it might wind up is no bad pick at all. Time is up. He is going to get Tyreek Hill. It's not a bad auto draft pick. It's not bad. Now, this is what I'm trying to see. Dan, you are 2 picks away, sir. What are you thinking? What are your hopes and dreams?
Well, I've done 7 mock drafts and I get the same player in 5 of them. So we'll see how it goes for the next 2 picks.
See, and Stu goes for CD Lamb.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
I'm on board with that pick. I think Lamb's going to have a monster here. I wasn't
expecting it.
Right. Stu always throws a curveball in, to be fair. Stu's great for a curveball.
Well, it's not just been Tucker, so I'm disappointed in him.
That's now thrown my pick. Oh! Right. Everyone Diggs was where that I got 5 out of 7 picks.
Right, let's see, Dan. All of this, what have you got for us? Studs is nervously watching this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Surely only one play.
Oh, you see that?
2 plays here. This is the thing. I need to make a decision about whether.
He's done it. He's done it.
Well, there's one for you guys listening in at home, ladies and gentlemen. Is Cooper Kupp going to have another year? He won the Triple Crown 2 years ago. He set all of the records. Can he do it again? It's going to be tricky, but let's see. Now, Studs, you are a bit of a fantasy demon most years. What have you got for us in the crew?
I'm going to go for John Robinson.
That was my choice. I couldn't decide between the 2 of them.
Right, on you go, Studs. Tell us why your choice is right and why Dan was wrong.
Well, I'm just purely on the basis of what's coming out of camp. He's lining up at receiver, so it sounds like they're going to use him at the backfield. To be fair, for me, if I was in Dan's place, I would have took Kupp as well. He's just a machine.
Gambling in that injury, what is Stafford? Is Stafford still the man? Does he have it in him? Right, we've had Saquon go off the board. Can he get over the contract blues? He did sign a new one, to be fair, so he should hopefully be back on. And this controversially, probably my favourite position on the draft board that Pat has, the old back to back. AJ Devante.
I was hoping Devontae was going to snake his way back to me, to be honest.
I was
Right. Gav, what you thinking of what you've seen on the board so far, sir? Is anybody ruined your day? Was there anybody you were sneakily hoping would work their way back down the board to you?
Not yet. I think our old friend Auto Draft's giving a few folks a helping hand here, so it's pretty much going to form so far.
Oh, Amon Ra, the Sun God is off the board.
Oh. He was the next one I was looking at after Devante.
What you got, Studs? What you got for us, sir? Oh, look at this. You can see him sweating, ladies and gentlemen. This is
going to reach here?
the cogs spinning.
Oh,
Lavi. That's a bold selection.
I went
That was
early with Lavi, to be
A
fair.
wee bit of faith in a Derek Carr-led offence.
I've just faith in the ability of Lavi, to be honest. The guy's
he's
unreal, and there's no way he was making it back to about 310.
That much we can agree on, but there you go. So you think he is an any quarterback?
Brian, I apologise, Brian, but I've got to do it.
Oh no, he's not.
Gone. He's joined the chub club.
oh.
Like a dagger to the heart.
Had to be
It's
done.
hard to argue with the sense of that pick. It's hard to argue.
He was the other one I was looking at, to be fair. I was toying with Chubb or Lavi.
It was, if it makes anybody feel any better, not that I think anyone will care, I had resolved myself to St. Nicholas not making his way back to me. He deserved better. He deserved better than to fall to 211. What I will say while we wait on Stu making his pick is, for all the viewers at home, we can see that this is the Championship Apparel Man Wins Leagues. Oh, there's one for studs. It's like a kick in the studs. Pat is off the board. Your boy ain't coming back. I'm going to say you've seen that coming, though.
There was no way Mahomes was coming back. I probably had more chance of Kelsey dropping to me in the first than I did of Mahomes ever coming back in the third.
So, listen, it's okay, studs. Keith will be very willing to trade you, Kelsey. All it will take is your next 5 mortgage payments.
In fairness, Stu loves a chief on his team. If he doesn't take Kelsey, he would have probably been. I can guarantee if Kelsey dropped to Stu was taking Kelsey.
I think it's a safe bet that he wouldn't have made it past 7. Right, okay, Gav, this is it. This is your moment to show us that you've been doing your homework. Oh, JT. So you've been doing your homework, but you've obviously not been listening to the chat out of Colt's camp that JT is persona non grata. Oh, it's a bold move. If he plays, he's amazing. Will he play? Right, John, one of the newest members of the crew, Devonta. Ooh, I don't know. What do you boys think? That one seems bold to me.
I think you're going to have peaks and troughs with Devonta Smith, purely because AJ's one. Sorry, Dan. AJ's clearly number one. So I think you're going to get peaks and troughs with Devonta Smith for me.
Do you know what, Dan? This one's just for you, mate. We can trade later. Just for you, sir. We'll do a wee swapsies.
Obviously, you're back to Smith. Look at the amount of receivers that are off the board already. So you're starting to get to the point where's the value in a receiver?
Well, you see, that is the big question, and it always comes down as well to it's a PPR league. So we are looking at all of those juicy points for those receptions. Now, this is where I'm torn, and it's my first one that I've been torn so far. The rest of mine have been quite straightforward. Let's deal with a problem position. Let's deal with a problem position. I'll be honest, it was between two. Problem position. Tight end. Set and forget. That's all you want out of a tight end. Nobody likes playing the waiver wire sweepstakes. And it's worth remembering for everybody watching the crew. You can all give us your opinions on this, folks. We are running fab waivers this year. So you do not have a free waiver, gents. You've got a budget. Everybody's favourite thing. You get to walk in with a big red briefcase once a week.
The budget's good fun. You blow your load early doors and you're struggling come playoff time. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, hang on a minute. We've been remiss. Pat's with us. I've only just waiting in a wing.
Yes. How you doing, guys?
So there we are, right, Pat. You can justify your 2 wide receiver set. Do you still believe in Davante Adams?
I believe that he'll get the biggest target share in Las Vegas, so that's why I went for him.
Do you know what? We all agree on that. But the problem is it's Las Vegas' target share.
I know. Jimmy G's going to ball out, though. We're good.
Oh. See, I can actually see Studs trying his best not to laugh at the suggestion that Jimmy G's going to ball out at Las Vegas.
Jimmy G's the obvious question mark with Devonta Adams. Let's be brutally honest. Devonta Adams, he's going to get it, but
there we go now. That is what we depend on Stu for, ladies and gents. And out there pick Jameer Gibbs, as I always mispronounce his name.
Kev's basically building his team for last year's fantasy football.
I was going to say that, Kev, we know you love a Lamar pick, and we love to see you keep picking him, but he hurt you once. Who says he won't do that again?
I
Hey,
can't
Derek
let this
Henry
guy
as well.
get past me, guys. I've got to take this guy. I can't let him slide.
Right, what you got for us, Dan? Let's see it. Oh. Right, so unfortunately now, ladies and gentlemen, Keith has just texted me to say that Dan has been removed from the crew for picking a Seahawk. We had a good run, Dan. We had a good run, mate. Daddy. You know what, Studs, you can have a minute of airtime to justify yourself. After last year's performance from Najee, you sticking with the faith?
I think the boy's a talent, and again, he's going to get fed up in Pittsburgh. You seen what he could do under Ben coming out of the backfield as well when Ben couldn't throw the ball past 5 yards. So it was basically their only option, and Kenny Tiny Hands probably can't actually get it by 5 yards either.
Well, do you know, as I was going to say, Kenny Pickett and his massive hands, he's not a prolific passer of the ball, but we will see what he can produce this year. There's a lot of chat coming out of the Steelers camp that things are looking better for the passing attack. Will that hurt or will that help Najee?
I'm also playing a wee bit of the sweepstakes as well because I've got my eye on a player and I'm hoping he makes it back to me, and I knew Najee wouldn't make it back. So
Ken Walker, hoping against all hope, Pat, that he can recover some of that form from tail end of 2 years ago, was it? When Walker was incredible.
No, last season.
last season.
Last season.
Sorry, I'm a year out.
Right, now I'm torn.
What's it going to be now? Other side. Where's he going?
Brees Lightning or wide receiver?
5, 4. Oh, you dick!
All the children listening, sorry for that man's language. He was, of course, referring to his good friend Richard. It's a bold choice. The corpse of Keenan Allen. It's a bold strategy. Oh, right. We'll get Liam back on the clock. 10 seconds ago. He's upset me. I was hoping Cooper would make it back to me. That's my first one that I thought might come. Ooh. Is the boy fantasy gold or is he an absolute fantasy bust? Let's see. What are you
doing?
Look at me. You can see him thinking. He's still got his 11 seconds to play with, gents. Right, so you know what? This is interesting. 2-1. You realise he doesn't play running back anymore, right?
Well, we'll still get the run back when CMC gets injured inevitably.
Right. No, we're getting. Where did I go here?
I really wanted Keenan Allen. He's another one that's for PPR leagues. He's
I've got to do it. We've got to do it.
What's it gonna be?
Guys.
Stu had Pat already. I was gonna say Stu's day's been ruined, but I known Pat was coming back. Right, do you know what, gentlemen? Now this one's an interesting one. I am out on Pierce. Wholeheartedly out. Someone convince me I'm wrong. Why is Kev's pick getting Pierce at the 4.5? Why is that a good pick? The silence is deafening.
He is going to get the volume.
But it's hosted.
Ridley's an interesting pick at that stage.
Switcher's got like 4 wide receivers. He's got no running backs.
Switcher is on the joys of the auto draft.
Yeah.
We're going with 2 flex in this. Is this 2
flex?
The roster's in there, mate. Yep. So you've got, for the sake of everybody at home, we'll put a wee one up there where we can see in the bottom of my screen. You've got quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 2 flex, kicker, defense, and then you've got 5 on the bench. You need to fill that out nicely. You need to be thinking about those flex positions. There's do you go safe? Do you go for the big upside swing? Now this is where there's one player I want and I'm about to lose him. Surely I'm not going to get the pick I want.
That's who I would have went for ahead of
I am getting the pick I want. I will 110% have a little bit of Brees Lightning and hope that his bones and muscles aren't broken.
Starting interesting now.
See, this is the good bit of the draft, folks. So for everybody that's watching, give us all of your thoughts. Who should we actually be having here as you go into the meat of the drafts? Rounds 1 through 3 are easy. That's all the names you know. It's all the names you trust. This is where you win your league. This
Two
is
players
where
I'm
you
relying
step
on.
up and you lay claim to victory.
Oh, come on, dude.
Ooh.
Oh,
Mike Williams on auto draft.
So let's just do a wee check. Okay.
Don't forget his back-to-back picks.
Yeah, back to backs. Hawk and then Mike. Right. See, it's a big question. Oh, he wouldn't make it back to me. Go with that Drake London.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Back to the Twin Towers.
Yeah, he's a man. He's the only target in that passing offense. I don't think it'll be great, but it's him or bust.
Yeah.
You've got Pitts to overthrow again.
Kale Pitts, aye.
As you pit eyes. That's two very different men. I'm going to say.
Apparently, he's been getting overthrown in camp again, just like Mariota did for most of last year.
I'm positively convinced that Desmond Ridder thinks Kyle Pitts is 7 foot tall. It's the only explanation as to what could be going on there. Right. I wondered. Auto draft got Kamara. I was tempted by Kamara. I won't lie. He's only going to be out for 3 games.
It's decent auto draft stuff.
He must have had him lined up because it went very quickly.
It's just so our dear friend Smudger has actually told the computer to just auto draft for him.
Yeah.
Or rather, I think it's done it itself because he's auto drafted twice. So it just flicks on, and his will just always go.
Oh yeah.
ADP, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not the best. So it's one for everybody else to be looking at because you know who Smudger's going to pick.
Oh, I'm going to be left for an absolute decision here now. I know there's so many players.
This is what I mean. This is where it gets good.
Where do I go?
This is where you need to start thinking.
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, Kev's run out of time. Good one, to be fair.
30 seconds isn't long enough.
Again, Godwin in the fifth isn't a bad pick, to be fair. He's going to get targets, albeit they're going to come for Baker or Trasks, but they're not going to be great targets.
I need to play this smart because I'm picking again in a few picks. Where did he go? Is
Mike Evans still there?
This guy was in a lot of...
Mike Evans is still about.
No, he didn't get there, but he went for the smoked sausage himself, Mr. Mattison.
Right, that was one of the ones I was looking at. Sniped again.
Right, tell you what, Gav, we are a fair wee while away from your back in the clock, mate. So as you look at the board, whose team, other than your own, of course, are you already looking at going, ooh, contender?
to be honest, I'm a patient man with fantasy. I think as long as you play a steady hand in the draft, it's about how you shuffle the deck through the season. So
listen to the caginess of this.
I'm on the fence. I'm sorry, I'm a fence sitter here.
Right.
But yeah, no one trying out right now.
Oh, okay, right, well, Pat, you're going to get a double dunk then. I'm going to come to you with that one, mate, and you can tell me, who are you looking at, yourself excluded, of course, that you think, ooh.
Give me a minute and I'll tell you. Championship
material, or who do you think is making a right royal hash of it? And you can't pick poor Smudger because he's auto-drafted. Even then, it's not a bad lineup Smudger's got, even with an auto-draft. This is it, it's getting tense. These are the bits that we all love. Those 30-second clocks, folks. Oh, Cam Akers, I have a lot of time for that.
Pat, you are an absolute bellend.
Love you.
Alice, I'm going to make a...
That's my last two picks. You've absolutely sniped. You couldn't have even left Cam Akers to the next one to make me feel better.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's part of
you
the
hear
fun.
that, and you hear him say, sorry, ladies and gents, but you also hear that he didn't mean it. He's not sorry. He's actually delighted.
Straight on the trade block.
Right. In fairness, now I've got a decision to make. So,
right. Well, while the bold studs balls, Pat, you can take the question that Gav so deftly ducked. As you look at the board, who are your big winners and big losers? We're 6 rounds in. We're starting to flesh out starting lineups here. Who do you see it looks good, and who do you think goes, ooh, would be doing that differently myself?
I like Stu's lineup. He's got a couple of guys I was over. I thought I'd get CD Lamb on the turn. Surprised he went so early. I thought he'd have went on the turn. I like Jameer Gibbs. He looks quite interesting this year as well. So I quite like Stu's lineup so far.
There you go, you heard it here first, folks. Stu's picked for early success. Right, now here's the fun bit. Stick your knife in. Who do you think is making an absolute melee?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Packer Liam now. Dobbins, Judy. Nah, I'm not convinced with Justin Fields either.
Oh, no! Oh, there is a hot take. Not convinced. The double we can put Justin Fields, the NFL quarterback, aside, but unconvinced about Justin Fields in fantasy. That's a hot one.
I'm going to come back in defence of Jerry Jeudy. That's one that I just thought that's a position where you might get a bit of value with some of the Broncos players. They had an awful season last year. You've got Peyton in there. Not saying they're going to set the world on fire, but I think you might get a bit of an upside with Broncos and Jeudy in the 6th. That's one I quite like.
He finished the season strong as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
I suppose your big argument there is, can it get much worse? Now, as a Browns fan, the answer to that is yes. Yes, it can. Because there is always 0 and 16 to aim for. But it is a shout. You know, all the chat's going to be that all the changes they're making behind the scenes are going to be the thing that changes it. Oh, Darren Waller. I think what we can probably say is that's all of your premium tight ends off the board. And I'm maybe being generous calling Darren Waller premium at this point in his career. Right, where do I go with this? Now I've got decisions to make, and I don't quite know where I'm going to land on it. 13 seconds. Right, I've got faith. I've got faith. Got faith in the talent, player talent. That's what I'm pinning my faith to.
He's got to just do what Jamal Williams done and vulture all the red zone up.
I hope so. Oh, Evan, there's a bold choice. So tell you what, Dan, you can come in on this. Getting your second, you don't even have one yet, but your second tight end in before the end of the 7th round. A bold strategy. What do you make it?
Yeah, I understand the Hawkinson pick makes sense, but because he's, like you say, one of the elite ones. Taking a second, I mean, it's PPR league. You know what I mean? So, many catches England going to get it. Jacksonville, yeah, it's interesting to see. Obviously, I haven't even went one tight end yet, so.
Oh, do you know what? With that, guys, I'm going to make eye contact with the camera so I can look into Dan's soul as I click the button here.
I don't care. Take him. I've got my QB one. Don't worry.
To be fair, yeah, I would rather have your QB one than my QB one, but that's not the point. To be fair,
you get your points. That's the thing. With that, you'll get your points.
Well, to be fair, you probably would prefer to have Joe playing for the Cowboys rather than Dak anyway, so that's always well considered.
Yeah, I mean, going back to my last pick, I think Smith and Nigba's may have been a bit out of reach, but I think he's going to do good things this year.
Well, is he though? Wide receiver 3?
Yeah, I think he'll. I think he'll be worth the reach.
I think that's a great pick there. Lockett this late, 7th round. I think Lockett's a great pick.
Lockett, yeah, I have a lot of respect for that thing.
And the fact that Lockett's going after Smith and Jigba, I think is just crazy. Lockett's their deep threat. He's been consistent over the last 4 or 5 years. Crazy.
Minimum 4 or 5. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all need to approve of the fact that Smudger got Cook on auto draft purely because he's purely because he loves him dearly. But he now does have two running backs, neither of whom are going to play week 1. So Smudger might be.
I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down the board.
Is Dan going to snipe me? That's the question.
I don't know. I went down the board a wee bit. I'm going to take this game maybe a round too early, but I think reading the reports and stuff like could be good for points this year.
Ooh. That's not what I thought you were going to land there. That's a good pick.
Leaves me with a very easy pick in this position.
Oh, He says that. Then let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that is a very easy pick because you know.
Well, that's what I was
how
going
much-
for, Studsley. So well done, you got me back.
Well, listen, all I'm going to say, Studs, is you can now tell Baker how grateful you are for him now.
Oh no, I'm planning it being Kyle Trask that's throwing him a ball, or Kellen Mond, or whoever the quarterback battle is in there.
Kellen Mond's in the Browns now. Kellen Mond was playing on Thursday night.
Who was the other one? Wilford. Is he the one that's in the QB battle with them all?
Oh, I've absolutely no idea, but it's certainly one where. Pardon me, folks. It's certainly one where it'll be an interesting QB battle, and I hate to say it. The standard of QB play coming out of Tampa Bay is probably not going to be league leading. Right. Pat with the double done. Now, that is a bit of Tampa Bay that I respect. Rashad White should be on for all the touches, and Baker can definitely feel the running back. We've seen that for Cleveland. Who's it going to be for the second half of the double done? Oh, I can feel the tension. This is when it gets interesting. This is where people go off script.
Pat, we need to have a word offline, by the way.
What was he did?
And
Right, now, folks, now that we've got Deontay off the board, everybody's at most respected wide receiver. And Studs is raging about it, which is even better. Oh, Treylon Burks. Right, you know what? Let's get a whip round the table here, folks. Who is in on the Treylon Burks hype? Treylon Burks has been hyped as a top dog, 1,000-yard receiver this year. Anybody else in with Liam? Now, Keith is the producer for this. This is where you're meant to chuck some tumbleweed across the podcast for me when I get responses that are that enthusiastic. Well, Studs, where you going? Time's up, Studs. You even so. Studs has got Hollywood Brown because his internet died again. And it's
no, that's where I was going anyway. He's literally the only target in Arizona.
Did I go a homer pick here? Did I go?
Everybody loves a homer pick. Or a pick that upsets Studs. These are the two things in the world of fantasy, ladies and gentlemen, that we can all get right.
I can't go into the season without a Cowboys player in my team, can I?
You can't, mate. I would agree with that. That's not the Cowboy anybody would want, but that is the Cowboy you have. You know what? I'm gonna kick the ball to you with that one, Dan. Sell me Brandon Cooks as a fantasy asset in Dallas.
He's going to be number 2 receiver for us. You know what I mean? So Lamb's obviously going to take up the most, but then Lamb's going to get draw a lot of coverage. So it's going to leave Cooks open. He's obviously a deep threat as well for us. So thinking yards as well for us, I think. It's probably a safe pick rather than the pick I was going to do, but I'm hoping the pick I was going to do is going to come back round to me because it's not an obvious one.
Okay, right. Well, let's see. So there you go, ladies and gents. That's something to be keeping your eye open for. Dan has a secret pick.
No!
I like that pick.
There you go.
There he goes.
And that secret didn't stay a secret for very long.
I was going to say it was Jake Ferguson or something like that.
For full transparency, folks, this is live. This is entirely unscripted, and this is the joy of just watching people get sniped in our fantasy league, just the same way they get sniped in your own fantasy leagues at home. So I hope that you can all just be sitting out there listening to this, watching along, and feeling the pain just like we all feel it. Now, really annoyingly, I didn't need to go quarterback last round. I think he would probably have still been here. So I'm left with decisions about where I go now, and yeah, I don't reckon this player will come back to me. Yeah, let's try and just nail this one down for a wee flex play. Because I really think that would have been on Scud's radar. So Scud, I hope you're listening, and I hope you're very upset with me. So, I was kind of hoping Addison would come back the other way though. It was a sneaky hope I had. Right, so let's see. He's got his second pick. This is why I love being at the turn, because you get that chance for the double dunk. You need to wait a long time for it, but you can ruin some hopes and dreams with that. He's only got 5 to pick. Who's he going to go for? Oh, he's just hoping for my downfall now. It's just that's just a deliberate move to say that he hopes I fail. Right. Do you know what? You went for a homer pick just there, Dan. As I quickly double check my team, I am yet to make my homer pick. Now, I've got two in mind. Only one of them definitely won't make it back. I'll have, just for you, Studs, the Chief, David Njoku. We all seen his phenomenal one-handed catch last season, and we'll be hoping for much more of the same next year. Now, this is one as I'll flick for everybody watching. We can see the old tight end situation. It's thinning out fast, folks. You've got serviceable options. There ain't that many of them left, unfortunately. So you need to get filling that spot sooner than later. Now, we are at a point where everybody now is going to be finishing off their starting lineups. So I'm going to scroll us up so we can see the full, as much of the draft pool as possible. And you can actually now start to see some of these teams getting filled out. Some of these teams can't be filled out yet because Dear Smudger, thanks to Auto Draft, is yet to pick a quarterback or a tight end. I'm sure he can fix that. But then again, Dan still needs a tight end. And Studs, you don't even have the excuse of being on Auto Draft. And you're still to furnish yourself with either a tight end or a quarterback. Is there a master plan at work here, mate?
Let's not panic. Let's just chill out and see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you convinced? Do you hear panic in his voice? There he is, the quarterback.
Sean's gone.
Yeah, he's
the quarterback no one wants.
Voldemort is gone.
I was going there.
Were you going to go there?
Yeah, I was. I'm taking Shabani.
Zach Charbonnet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Watson.
Decisions.
You're going to finish that roster off? You're going to fill that last...
This guy I read is going to be good. And it's a half homer pick. But I need this position covered. So I'm going to go... Yeah, that's exactly
there he is. Well, talented player. Theoretically in a position where he'll catch a wee bit more. You would think that there'll maybe quite a few dump-offs to tight ends in Houston. Maybe. Very few touchdowns, probably. Right, Studs, you've got massive holes in your team. You need to address that. There he is. Oh! Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what in the business is referred to as an upside swing. And if it works, Studs is going to look like a fantasy genius.
I like that pick.
If, however, Mr. Richardson demonstrates the level of accuracy that he demonstrated in college, Studs is going to look like he has never watched the NFL a day in his life before, and he borrowed that Chiefs jersey.
I like the pick.
Back to you. You're another one that's still got a quarterback to go. Are you going to resolve that now, or are you going to scrape the barrel at the end of the draft? Baker's still on the board.
And he still will be at the end.
Oh, now that pick I've got a lot of love for.
And then we're going to go for QB1 this year.
Oh.
Homer pick. The Homer pick is in.
Well, it is a Homer pick because obviously Pat's a massive Jets fan. But is it really? Or is that just insane value to pick up Aaron Rodgers?
Out the darkness, he's going out the light.
No, what was Rodgers' numbers last year? Pat, I'll ask you this. It's something given he's now your boy. What were Rodgers' numbers like last year when he basically didn't have a wide receiver one?
Oh, he was pretty horrendous at times.
I've
got him in Dynasty, in my Dynasty League. He started slow, picked up all right. But yeah, could be better. But now he's got some proper targets.
Yeah, well, he brought all of his favourite targets for Green Bay, and he added some of your favourite targets from New York. So, should we be seeing that big upswing?
Oh, somebody took him. I'm going to lose time here.
Dan's.
No, Portland. A lot of people have been staying away from him this year.
I was looking for Bateman. I just never realised Bateman had went.
Oh, Stu goes early with the DST. The Niners are off the board in the 10th. He is trying to fill out that roster and get all of those spots filled before he thinks about his bench. And Smudger has went from having no quarterbacks to having... Well, he's went from having no quarterbacks to having someone who shouldn't be a quarterback and someone who, for his own health, probably shouldn't be a quarterback either. So we will wait and see. They're both players with huge fantasy upside. Personal misgivings aside. Oh, Gav!
I love the sound effects.
What have you done? Right, somebody get on a plane, fly to Canada,
Stu,
and
call
just
me.
make sure Stu's okay.
There's now an auto draft. He's smashed his screen.
Now, that, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely a homer pick because there's no reason to take the New York Jets defense this early. No offense, Pat. Well, no need for that early. Right. On the notion of I'm going to have another homer picking out, I'll have Mr. Moore. I think he could be on for a good year. Pat, are you sorry to see Moore go?
Scott's third tight end.
No, because I think between Hardman and Lazard coming in, I think we're better placed. So
Okay.
no,
I think it's just surplus the requirement.
absolutely, yeah.
I think Hardman's good for a graduate side.
Sorry, was that sorry?
Hardman's good for a graduate side a lot with the jet sweeps and stuff. That's where they seem to have a lot of success with ourselves.
I think he's doing quite a bit in special teams as well. So he is. So he'd be
Aye.
quite good in that front. Obviously, he's a bit of a whippet. So
Right, you know what, guys?
good to keep that is.
Dan, I looked you in the eyes earlier as I made a pick. This time, Keith, I'm going to look you in the eyes as I make a pick and just take Gino off the board. And he can sit on my bench for a year until you offer me a lovely, juicy trade for him. Because that's what it's all about, folks. Remember, fantasy isn't about the victory. It's not about winning a beautiful jacket at the end of the year. It's about how badly you can upset your friends along the way and how much you can ruin friendships over made-up sport. Or Jalen Hyatt. Now, on you go, Gav. You can sell that one to me because he's a player I've been tempted by from fantasy aspects all off season. Sell me that pick.
It might have been a round or two too early, but he's just one that just feels like he's flying below the radar, even with Jones as QB. But I just think there's maybe some upside there, and you've got the starters in, so why not have him stashed away in the bench for a couple of weeks and see how he goes?
Why not take the swing? I love it. I've got a lot of respect for it. Oh, all right, there you go. Stu. Oh, yes, he is first man to completely fill out his team with his addition of Mr. McPherson, which again I would love to say that's a homer pick, but he's just a very bloody good kicker. Is what the Browns tried to do with Cade York, draft a kicker early, and unfortunately our kicker's not entirely sure where the goals are. Sky, studs, how does that make you feel?
That's one I had for my homer pick. Probably around earlier than what I was going to go, but not too well.
He's there. I think looking at what's left on the board, I think he's a good option.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Dan. I think he's of everybody in Kansas who isn't named Travis, he's got as good a shout as any to become the wide receiver one.
Yeah.
Right, studs. Do you know, I actually looked into this earlier because everybody's been saying how undersized his chain is. Now, I never actually quite appreciated how undersized he is. He's my height.
Yes.
And he only weighs about, 15 pounds more than me. Like...
Aye, but he's a whippet.
Unfortunately, he is a whippet, and I'm not entirely certain that's what this league respects.
Nah, listen, I figured I've not got enough rookies in my team with 3, so I thought with 2, so I'd add a third.
Well, hi, you've got to listen.
Again, he's a backup RB for me just now, so it's literally can he get in, win the job? If not, then he goes on the waiver wire.
Well, you know that's very true. Right, Pat, Jerick McKinnon, and now. Studs, I'm going to kick this back at you. Why didn't you pick McKinnon?
Again, I was playing the ADP one, and I was hoping he was coming back round. That's me
Oh, there
being
you go.
honest.
So, Pat, you know what? I'm actually going to check. Are you sat near Studs in some way?
He's in the same county.
I'm a bit worried if we're in the same mindset.
Well, that is a dangerous place to be, let's be honest.
Now, there is a tight end pick at depth that I think of all the ones that have just went. I'm going to, if I was wearing a hat, Pat, I would tip it to you. I think that is a great value pick. I think he could have serious fantasy upside this year.
Yeah, I was looking at him as well as a later pick.
He's a big unit of a guy. Oh,
Let's-
right. Where do you go,
Let's
Sid?
do this. Let's do this and take off.
Oh. Danny Dives. Can he repeat last year's heroics? Because he was a bit of a fantasy darling last year.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
No, Dan's officially got to the point he's closed his eyes. Right.
Let's go with...
Let's see it. Oh, the butt kicker. Now, I'll say this after you've made the choice, Dan. Did what nearly get dropped last year?
Yes. There was rumours of it at one stage when he was missing a lot.
Just floating that one for you to think about there with that selection,
Thing
Dan.
is, with kickers, you pick them up in waivers and stuff like that. They're not a hard position to refill. If Butker goes, there's not a hard position to refill. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, the reason that Keith's taken so long here, actually, I've just realised, is because Ku's gone off the board. Keith will be devastated that he couldn't get his man Ku again. It's almost tradition for Keith to pick up Ku. Oh. Gav, you've won. You've won. Gav's won the league. Gav has won already by picking everybody. He might not be quarterback one in any statistical sense, but he is
Safest pair of
quarterback one.
hands.
Quarterback one in our hearts. Quarterback one in our hearts. Right now,
Keith has messaged to say he's absolutely raging, by the way, that Ku went off the board.
yes, he has. Now, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this now because, do you know, we'll go a bit of the Bills. Let's round that off. See, this is where it gets interesting, folks, because we're starting to see kickers and defences vanish, so we're really starting to see some flyer picks will start to come out. Last 3 rounds, Patriots. Now, Patriots defense is historically a little bit of a fantasy cheat code. That they have put up some hilarious points. And I'll go for the old Buffalo Bills double done. I'll take Tyler Bass as well.
Yeah, it was between him and Butker for me.
I think butt kicker when he's on's pretty consistent. He got an injury last year at the start of the season, which I think's probably played a part.
I think with that Chiefs offense, he's always going to get a chance to get extra points or field goals. So that's where I'm at it.
Yeah.
Well, there's your question. We'll put this one round the room actually. When you're picking your kicker, do you want somebody in Patrick Mahomes-led offense who is going to get you lots of extra points, but probably not many field goals? Or do you want to go for somebody who's in, say, a Las Vegas style offense where they're not likely to get many extra points, the touchdown total's not going to be that high, but they're going to get in field goal range reasonably frequently? What would your preference be? The guaranteed 1 points or the slightly riskier 3? What do you think, boys?
I'm a big believer in the sort of the middle of the road team when you want to take a kicker. I mean, years gone by, Sebastian Janikowski, never had a good Raiders team, but he was always a solid pick at kicker.
Now, Keith got to send expletives to us, and now I get to send them back to him. You're a git. Rice was meant to make his way back. Right. So where are we at? We're up at Kev. Kev's got enough. So this is Kev's fully in flyer territory now. This is not everything. Most people are now. Oh, Kev is feeling dangerous. It can't be worse than last year for Russ, can it? Surely Russ is going to improve this year, guys. Tell me it's true. Again, the silence and the tumbleweed is giving me the fear that it's possibly not true.
Sorry, I was packed. For me, you'd expect him with a coach like Sean Payton rather than a rookie head coach, you'd expect him to be better. If he's not, then I think they can get out the deal this year and Peyton can go and get whoever he wants, essentially, rather than Russ.
If Russ isn't better this year, is Russ done? Full stop, done. Go and retire now, done.
I think so.
MD query it. MD would say, nah, he still won a Super Bowl. Come on. Oh, Jesus. That's a tough crowd here, folks. They hate everybody.
They're all concentrating.
That's what it is.
It's all in the if there. It's all in the if. So if he has a bad season, then yeah. But I think Peyton. Let's see. I think there's going to be an upswing with the Broncos this year.
I think there'll be an upswing as well, but just not enough.
Not enough. So Dan said, I think he will be better, but better than crap can still be terrible. So
I just don't think they're going to do anything. I just don't think the Broncos will do anything. They'll be a better team, but they still won't do anything.
Now, Pat, is that just because you watched him in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame game, and you thought I need me some Greg the Leg?
Do you know something? It's not actually really like him, but also he's so far down the list there to search for his name, which is why I was panicking. I wasn't going to get it in time.
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of feel bad for Smudger because I can see who he's going to get in auto pick, and I wouldn't want him. So, unless you never know, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 picks before them.
Yeah, good pick.
That's a bold
to get him this late. Dak loves a tight end. Let's be honest.
He does. That is very true.
Forgot where I was going there. Oh. Hey, I don't understand it. Maybe somebody can explain this to me. In all my mocks, this guy fell really low. And can somebody explain why?
Because everybody is, for some reason, absolutely convinced that Kincaid is going to have his lunch, which is insane, as far as I am concerned. But what do I know? I'm somebody that drafted Kyle Pitts 2 years ago, and I'm still waiting for that to pay off. But yeah, everybody's convinced that Knox is a bust because Kincaid is going to do it all, and I'm not convinced.
No, same.
Now, Kev, I hope you're listening, because I really hope that pick pays off, because I think DPJ deserves it more than Moore does. Sadly, I think DPJ is getting pinned. Right, I'll tell you what, gents, we are at the last half of the penultimate round. We won't have a huge amount of time once we're done, but what I do want you to do is, as we start to wrap up the draft, I want you, excluding yourselves, no ducking the question this time, Gav, I want you to give me the one team that you look at that you think has been drafted really well, and the one team that you think has been drafted not so well. We're not going to go too deep into it. We're just going to get a wee bit of a chat and a bit of a review of how we think people did in the draft. Mims. Now, full disclosure, folks. Myself and Keith were talking about Mr. Mims before we came on air, and we're a fan. We're a fan of Mr. Mims. Jacoby Myers. Good luck, Gav. I wish you will. Right, John's up for his penultimate pick, Mr. Gallup, galloping down the field. Time for, do you know what? I'm gonna double dip. I've actually, ladies and gentlemen, I've just drafted this person in the Cru's Dynasty League. Or one of the Dynasty Leagues, me and some of the members of the crew are in, and I've got all the faith in Mr. Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby. You're just doing that because of the name.
Okay, yes. That is not a lie. However, it is also because I think that ETN's workload is going to be getting taken away. Right, folks?
Yeah, I read that.
The final round. This is where you're either picking a kicker or you are taking that upside swing. That player that you wait to see if he hits. And if he hits, fantastic. If he doesn't, to the bin. And I've got no idea who I'm going to pick. So let's see if I can try and find. I know who I'm looking for. I just can't remember if they've been picked. No, there he is. I'll have Mr. Vaughan.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I wondered why he was still there, I'll be honest.
I forgot about him.
To be fair, there's two running backs sitting there that I actually can't believe are still sitting there, and I'm toying with the idea of going
Do
straight
you know what,
on the
okay,
waiver and
I'll
get
put
with it.
I'll put the running back list on the board for the world to see, for hopefully everybody that's watching along can tell us what they think. Who are those running backs that you cannot believe are still there? Gerald Everett. Fair enough. Gerald Everett's actually, I was gonna be sarcastic there, Gav, but Gerald Everett's actually a solid pick at this point in the draft. With your final pick, he's not bad in the slightest. Oh, Keith, Mr. Mostert, and Smudger has a full team. Smudger can field a legal lineup week 1, even with auto draft, so we can all be pleased at that. Homer pick from Stu, Irv Smith, although in a PPR, he might actually do okay. Might
I
see
think
some
he'll
of
stay healthy.
Well, do you know what, that is true, but I think that you can say that about any player, can't you? They stay upright.
He's not been healthy in about 3 years.
Aye, but he's in 3 in the league, so that's not the point. Yes, you are quite correct. He has struggled, shall we say, to keep himself upright. Right, Dan, sign us off with your last pick for yourself. What have you got for us?
I really don't know.
You can't decide.
I've only got 2, so I better pick one up.
Well, I was sarcastic to Gav earlier. Good luck. Speaking of people with fields, Mr. McManus, well done. Rounds out the lineup.
I need to cover my running back position for bye weeks. We're going to kind of just look into the season with
Very,
running
very
back.
true, mate. Very, very true. Right, it is Liam, penultimate
My
pick
championship
of-
week's going to be a nightmare. I've got like 7 folk on week 14 buys.
Oh, Jordan
I'm just
Love. Jordan Love, the homer pick. Right,
Do the
Pat,
rest of your players start?
the honour of closing the draft, Pat,
hopefully
is
not.
yours. Take us
Mr.
away.
Irrelevant.
Right. Honest answers. When's Kyler Murray back?
He's 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out.
Aaron, it's worth
Christmas.
a shot. You've got Aaron Rodgers sitting there. I think Murray's worth a shot at this stage. And I'm not just
Sitting
saying that
bench.
because there's running backs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Mr. Irrelevant.
inaugural Grid Iron Crew Fantasy League has drafted. Look at that draft board of glory. Now, folks, this is what we call in the business filler, because I am talking for a minute so that the crew have got a chance to look at the board and they can think about the question that I posed to them a wee half a minute ago. I want them to tell me, excluding their own teams, and I'm going to say excluding Smudger as well, because he has been on auto draft, who is the one team that you look at that board and you go, oh, do you know what? That's solid, actually. That's a good team. And then the one team that you think, nah, you are destined for the Jobby Bowl. You are destined for the ignominy of coming dead last. With that said, and with a wee bit of airtime filled, gentlemen, would anybody like to volunteer to kick us off? And let's do you know what? Let's go with a negative first. Whose team do you look at and go, that looks hideous? So we can finish the show on a bit of a high, giving somebody a pat in the back. Would anybody like to take me away with a team that they look at and they go, nope? And then maybe 1 or 2 points, nothing too long. We're going to keep this brief.
I'm quite happy to go first for the team.
Go for it,
I'm
Spence.
looking at and saying nope, and it's Kevs.
Oh,
I'll be honest.
right.
Right,
What are your,
so you-
what, give me your 1 point. Your 1 point why you look at Kevs and you say, not for me.
Well, apart from Diggs and Godwin, I'm fine with, but PPR, Henry, nope. Pierce, nope. AJ Dillon, nope.
Right?
Kyle Pitts.
I'm going to step on you. I'm going to step on you and say you've made your point and you're no happy with that team. Who wants to come in second and tell me who they look at and they go, not for me?
I'll go next then. I
Go
think
for it.
it's hard looking at it. I probably would have agreed. But looking at the other teams, I think if I had to pick someone, I'd go say Liam's team. I know he's got a couple of good receivers in there, but the rest of his team, I think. The first 3 picks, I'm on board with, but the rest of it, I'm struggling to see.
Okay, not a Justin Fields believer.
No.
Right, okay. Gav, what about yourself, mate? Who do you look at and you go, not for me?
I mean, it's probably a bit unkind, but I think auto draft GM has done Smudger dirty. To be fair, I mean, we've got Mr. Kamara, who, to be fair, could come back and smash it after the suspension. But day one, who's his running back there? He's got suspended. Kamara,
Harrison
he's got
Donta.
a free agent.
Right.
Not feeling that.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to step at this point. I'm going to say, see if Smudger wins this league. with an auto-drafted team. That has a more damning reflection of all of us. Right, Pat, round us off, mate. What team do you look at and do you think, nah, no for me?
Well, I kind of already had a wee go at Liam's team anyway, but actually now that's finished, I'd say it's our leader, Mr. McGinty.
Oh,
Miles Sanders,
controversy.
Christian Kirk, Jacobs. These are guys that had good seasons last year. I'm not convinced they're going to do it again this year.
Oh,
The Jacobs one I'd be nervous about. I actually don't
Yeah.
mind the Sanders pick, to be honest, because he's going to be the RB1 there. But Jacobs,
true.
where not having signed the contract, would make me nervous.
Yeah.
there you
Aye,
go.
so
Right,
I would
okay.
probably say McGinty.
Right, okay.
Get
I'll
a
do
nice
mine.
stick in there, Pat. Get it twisted.
That's a twist. Right, and I'll do mine and I'll keep it nice and brief. I'm going to say 101. 101, Mr. Scud. I'm just, JJ and Hurts, solid enough. I am reasonably convinced, and I think he will be as well, that the Pats are going to bring someone else into that running back room. And Stevenson, he's not going to be out of a job or anything silly, but he's going to see that workload go down. So I don't think it's going to play out for him, unfortunately. Right, okay, guys, let's finish this off on a positive note. Give me the team other than your own that you think, do you know what? Aye, okay. That's going to be a goodie. That's going to be dangerous. Who wants to kick us off? So you notice how quick they were, folks, to jump in when it was a chance to slash somebody else. That's being nice about somebody else. Do you know what? I'll come in first. I'll lead the charge with this. I'm actually going to say I think Stu's teams get sneaky upside. Lamb, I think, is going to have an absolute year. Pat's Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Mixon has literally nobody behind him in that backfield. Now, Mixon is hilariously inefficient, but you only really need to be so efficient when you're getting all of the touches.
That's not true. Stu drafted his backup, Chase Brown.
That is very true. That is true. So Stu's covered these bets. And I do like the Perrine pick. In getting Perrine all the way in the 12th, I think's got value behind it. I think that could be a very, very sneaky good team. Not going to but he's got Irv Smith as well. So we'll wait and see. Right, who wants to take it? Who's got a team that they look at and they go, do you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if that team was given to me.
Yeah, I'll go next then. And I'm probably going to... It's hard because people get different bits of the draft where they've done well at different sections, but I think looking at the first 5 picks, out with mine obviously, I think, Brian, I'm going to say your team. I think if you can get... I think if London can do well, I think that's a really great pick up at that round. Obviously, Pollard will be number 1, Chase will be number 1, Andrews number 1. Yeah, I think yours is a good pick, to be honest with you.
Whoa, thank you, sir. I'll take that. Right, who wants to come in next?
I'll go
Studs just
next.
trying to not die. On you go, Gav. You take us.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kev there. I mean, I think there's a couple of solid picks right at the top. I mean, he didn't have the high picks, but Diggs and Henry solid at position. And then there's a few risk-reward picks further down that list. Odell Beckham Jr., you know, if he can bounce back,
Right.
I think that's quite fair. And Lazard again, if Rodgers can get things going in New York, I think he's got good value further down the board.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Like now, Gav, you are right. So before I go any further, I'll acknowledge that you're right. Before I go any further, I hate OBJ, and I hope he fails miserably, and not just because I love Baker more than possibly my own children. Right, Studs, what you got for us, mate? Who are you going to say that's a team on the board that you really, really like to look at?
Well, I've been sitting looking at it, and initially I was going to say Scud, and then I looked at it again, and I was like, no, I don't actually like that, apart from the fact he's got 3 tight ends in there. And then I'm obviously the fact that Pat sniped me several times as well. I'm kind of, but again, you get to a certain stages of Pats, and I'm kind of like, again, I'm not over the line on. Like, and Dan as well. Again, early picks, I thought Dan's looked really good, and then it kind of tailed off for me personally. But I'd probably say Gavs. I'm looking at Gavs, and you're looking at Eckler, Taylor, both potentially 3 down backs, Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, that late in the 4th, for me is a great pick. Then you've got Lockett and Thomas in there, steady pairs of hands. Darren Waller at your tight end, who's probably going to be the wide receiver 1 in New York. Looking at Gavs for me. And again, you've got Captain Kirk in there at that late as well.
All the respect for the Captain Kirk pick.
The
Right,
man who
Pat.
almost stole the quarterback show.
Absolutely. Hey, no, almost. He stole it.
Almost.
Right, Pat, round us off for the evening, sir. Who's the one team on the board that you look at and you go, do you know what? I wouldn't be upset if that was my team.
Well, I think we've all got sort of some good parts to our teams. I like, obviously, I sort of said early doors, I like the Lucas Shoes team. But I'd go with Studsies. I think Studsies looks all right. I'm not convinced with your bench, if I'm being honest, but I think it's a starting lineup. I think you've got a really strong starting lineup. And I think it's looking all right.
I appreciate that, man.
I'd
Appreciate the
call
love.
it competitive of mine, but you know.
To be fair,
to be fair,
folks,
half of yours was mine because you sniped me.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Studs and Pat need to like each other's teams because they've been sniping one another. Right, okay, folks. With that all said and done, that brings us to the end of our fantasy draft. Now, we will, of course, keep you up to date with how these teams do throughout the regular season. But guys, 5 weeks. 5 weeks today, we will all be sat enjoying 7 hours of uninterrupted commercial-free football. It will be go time and life will just be a lot better.
By the way, there's breaking fantasy news as well that people have already been drafting, guys. You've got Packers Liam's already grabbed Justin Ross for the Chiefs, and Rashawn Johnson in the Bears was one of the running backs I was talking about. So I don't know who he's dropped, but he's grabbed him, and John Bradley's grabbed Bryce Young instead. So Michael Gallup, Dan, for you, is now on the waiver wire if you wish to pick him up.
Yeah, I was tempted by him, but do I want him or do I want Cooks? I think Gallup's
I think Cooks is a right pick.
I think Gallup's still got a lot to prove after his injury. Gallup could be a receiver, but he's just not lived up to it yet.
Right,
Do you
well,
think that's
okay,
about
folks,
sneaky
I'm going to stamp on this lot and shush them before they keep going, because if I let them talk, they talk all day. With that, guys, keep your eye on the Fantasy League. We will be with you for the next 4 weeks of off-season joy. Next week, we've obviously got the pre-season games to get our teeth stuck into, which will be great to see. The Hall of Fame game was good, but it'll be nice to see some starters making their way onto the field as we start to move through the pre-season. And then before we know it, it'll be the regular season. I have been Brian. These guys have been the crew. We will look forward to seeing you all next time. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Threads, on Instagram, on YouTube, on anywhere you get your podcasts. There's only 5 weeks left, folks. And until then, the crew will get you through. Thank you very much, folks, and good night.